right? Back in the day, because I always tell people, I've realised, but I don't give the context to this. Maybe you can talk to this. You know, when people always ask me, like, why are you so hostile to pros? And wow, how can you disrespect them? Because they don't know, back in your day when you were a pro, mate, pro players used to treat me like I was the dirt on the end of their shoe. Like, they made it like if they granted me an interview, I was like some fanboy that they were like, oh, they're being so nice. And meanwhile, like, I was already a 10-year veteran in the industry, you know, like trying to do, and you know this, I wasn't just doing throw shit. I was trying to do that could last and could be epic. I mean, sadly, SK Gaming deleted all the website, but I was trying to do like historic stuff, you know, shit that mattered. So what they don't know is, like, I always kept that in the back of my mind, that little chip on my shoulder, and I was like, listen, when I get to the top, like, these guys, I'll actually give them, when I have the megaphone, basically, I'm going to let them all know just what I think of them in the same way they did. So the anecdote goes like this, right? Basically, when I was at one of these events, a guy who worked with me, I won't say who it was at one of these sites, one time, even this guy tried to take the fact that I knew like loads about Counter-Strike, and obviously he was like obsessed with the game and following it. Even he tried to spin that as though I was like a loser, even though he worked in the esports industry at the same event covering the game. So what he did, right, is he said some mad to me, like when I was talking to some player or something, and I was like, yeah, and the way he played Inferno, you know, was like, and then he just turns to me, right, out of nowhere at this dinner in like front of everyone, and just goes, I bet you're one of those people who knows every player who played in 2001, but probably can't do your own shoelaces, trying to make out like I'm literally like that guy out of fucking Rain Man or something. Like, quite offensive, you know. But he did it in a way where it's like, because he was supposedly more social than me, he was basically trying to like alpha me in front of everyone and make me look like a fucking like little nerd, right? But what he didn't realise is I just like played it off cool, and I was like, nah, you know, I have stuff I'm interested in, and whatever I'm interested in, I just research it, you know, figure out a lot about it, and I just have a good memory. But he wouldn't just let it go, right? Because he thought like, oh, really? So this guy's going to try and fight back, is he? So he thought I was bluffing, right? So he goes, like, what? What else do you know then? And I said, well, listen, mate, like, let's not get silly here, but, you know, I like music, I like movies. And when I said movies, he thought, like, got him now. So then he goes, oh, yeah, what do you know about movies? And I said, it's quite similar to CS, you know, I tend to have a good memory for, like, you know, who was acted in the movie, who directed it.
I can already tell where this is going to go, because I remember one of the events we did a couple years ago, it was like you and Vendetta just like knew everything about every movie that's ever been made,
exactly.
Like every fucking detail.
Oh, that's the funny thing, by the way. What this idiot didn't get was exactly what you just said there. Like, obviously, it's the same thing. When we played that game, we once played a game like at one of these tournaments behind the scenes where it was like sports and stuff, and any of our like specialist subjects, like the other hobbies we have. Yeah, me and Vendetta are ridiculous on how many like NFL players we can go through, NBA, like, yeah, because the point is, if your mind works that way, it just works that way on everything. But what this idiot didn't know was, he didn't get that, because obviously his mind didn't work that way. So when I said movies, he was like, oh, and I said as well, and you know, I could maybe even probably tell you the year it came out. So then he thought like, got him now. So then he was like, oh yeah, well what if I just said like a few movies then? You could tell me what year they came out. And what he didn't know was, that's literally, I hadn't done it on purpose. Again, it's just something like I'm into, where I just have a good memory for it. But that's even something I used to use as like sort of a parlor trick whenever I would be like, talking to girls and stuff, you know, just to like be a fun thing to like show off to them or whatever. So then I said like, yeah, I'd give it a go. And this is the best part, right? Because secretly I know I've got it in my back pocket. I'm also downplaying this like a motherfucker. So I'm giving him hope that like he's going to catch me, right? But then here's the part this idiot didn't think about. And if anything, this summarizes the whole story, right? The movies he reels off are movies where like, I don't think many people would get the year, but you know what? They'd have a chance. Like, he's reeling off like Pulp Fiction, like the Untouchables, like, you know, The Matrix, like, because think about the real way he's actually like fucked himself in the Catch-22 here is obviously he doesn't know.
Movies, so then, you can go for the other ones.
And he doesn't know the really hard movies. So obviously he himself is a specialist in any area in his whole life. But in trying to invalidate me as one, he's actually made it too easy. So as you can imagine, when someone pulled out the phone and I reeled off, like, you know, the year Pulp Fiction came out, the year The Untouchable, and I got like all like 3 for 3. The best thing is, this guy just did one of those like things for a movie where they just sort of like do like a little gulp and then just like fucking like started talking about something else. Like, anyway, yeah, tomorrow I think we're going to like, so people don't even know the levels that this shit goes through. So actually, you know what? To bring it all back, I'm not lying, mate. In the areas I follow, I am a mad know-it-all. Like I do, you know, because the point is, it's like that fucking Larry Bird quote, isn't it? It's like, it's not trash talk if you can back it up. If you actually do know fuck loads, and you should be proud of that. You don't have to be, I know, listen, some Nordic people don't get this, but I was raised also similarly to be like, you never brag about what you're good at, you know, you shouldn't, because you might make someone else feel bad, you know. It's like, I learned that that's just some fucking social conditioning bullshit, mate. If you're good at something, just fucking say it. And if someone thinks they aren't, they can take a shot, can't they? They can come prove you wrong.